The Boy Who Was Too Fast for the World, November 1940. A stormy night in San Francisco, while the world was busy with war, fear, and uncertainty, a child was born. No prophecy, no celebration, no signs of greatness. Just a baby, destined to move faster than the world around him. His name was Bruce Lee. But before he became Bruce Lee, before the legend, before the philosophy, he was simply a restless child caught between two worlds. Two worlds, one confused identity. Bruce Lee was born in America, but his blood, his culture, his roots belonged to China. Only months after his birth, his family returned to Hong Kong, a city bursting with life and violence, crowded streets, narrow alleys, arguments that turned into fists. This was not a playground. This was a battlefield. And Bruce was growing up right in the middle of it. A child with fire inside, Bruce was not weak. But he was angry. Angry at being challenged. Angry at being mocked. Angry at being told where he belonged. School fights became routine. Street fights became inevitable. Every corner, every stare, every word felt like an invitation to fight. And Bruce accepted every single one. Pain as a teacher, he won many fights. He lost many too. Bloodied knuckles, broken lips, bruised pride. But after every fight, Bruce asked himself the same question. Why did I win? Why did I lose? These questions mattered more to him than victory itself. Because even then, deep inside, Bruce Lee was not satisfied with chaos. He was searching for control, fame at a dangerous price. Ironically, while Bruce was fighting in the streets, he was also appearing on movie screens. Child actor, small roles, early recognition. People knew his face, and that fame made things worse. Jealousy followed him. Challenges followed him. Strangers wanted to test him. One night, a street fight turned brutal. No rules, no mercy. That night, his parents realized something terrifying. If this continued, their son would not survive. The moment of truth, one evening, his father sat across from him. No shouting, no anger, just one sentence. Either you control your strength, or it will destroy you. That sentence struck deeper than any punch Bruce had ever taken. Enter discipline. Soon after, Bruce was introduced to a man who would change his destiny. Ip Man, a master of Wing Chun, calm, precise, unshakable. The first lesson was not about fighting. It was about stillness. Before you strike, you must balance. Bruce struggled. His speed worked against him. His anger betrayed him. But for the first time in his life, he was learning restraint, training the mind. Hours turned into days, days into months, repeating the same movement again and again and again. Not to impress, not to dominate, but to understand. Ip Man once told him, "You are not fighting your opponent, you are fighting yourself." That sentence stayed with Bruce forever. The enemy within. Bruce was gifted, but impatient. He wanted results. He wanted speed. He wanted mastery immediately. But discipline demands humility. And humility was Bruce's greatest challenge. Slowly, painfully, he began to understand. Anger makes you predictable. Control makes you unstoppable. A question that never left him, yet something else haunted him. Bruce was not Chinese enough for traditional circles, and not American enough to belong elsewhere. Who am I? This question followed him everywhere. In training halls, in classrooms, in silence. The fight that changed everything. In 1958, another street fight, but this one was different. Bruce won, yet collapsed afterward, gasping for breath, exhausted. Victory was not enough. That night, Bruce made a promise to himself. I will no longer fight to survive. I will train to transcend. Leaving Hong Kong, Soon after, a decision was made. Bruce would leave Hong Kong. America awaited, a land of opportunity and rejection. But Bruce Lee did not know that yet. All he knew was this: he could no longer remain the boy he was. He stepped onto a ship, leaving behind anger, chaos, and the streets that shaped him. Ahead lay a new enemy, the world. End of part 1. Bruce Lee's journey did not begin with glory. It began with confusion, with anger, with pain. But every legend starts as a problem the world does not know how to solve. And Bruce Lee was just getting started. From street fighter to martial artist. America, a land of opportunity and silent judgment. A 17-year-old boy stepped onto foreign soil with little money and even fewer connections. He was Bruce Lee, gifted, angry, restless, but invisible. For the first time, fists alone would not make him powerful. Now, invisibility was his true opponent. Struggle of the mind, school was a battlefield too. New language, new rules. Whispers behind his back. Who is this boy? They don't belong here. Bruce Lee soon realized, to fight the world, he first had to master himself. And so, he trained. Not just his body, his mind, his perception. Rediscovering martial arts, Wing Chun remained his anchor. Hours of drills, repetition, discipline. But Bruce Lee began to question. Is tradition enough? Is copying enough? Or is there something more? He experimented. Karate, boxing, fencing. He broke movements apart, analyzed timing, perfected efficiency. Fighting was no longer just survival. It became philosophy. Teaching as rebellion, Bruce started teaching martial arts. Not just Chinese students, but everyone. White, black, Asian. He opened doors. Some elders disapproved. You betray your heritage, they warned. But Bruce Lee answered. Tradition that becomes a cage must be broken. A challenge to his skills. One day, word reached him, you are teaching outside your community. Prove yourself? A clandestine fight followed. No audience, no rules, just skill and survival. Bruce Lee won, but barely. Victory was hollow. He realized mastery required more than speed or technique. It required mind, body, and spirit working in harmony. Mind over muscle. Late nights, alone in the dojo, Bruce Lee reflected. If the mind controls the body, then the body can never betray me. He wrote notes. He dissected every motion, every strike, every movement. Jeet Kune Do was being born. A way to fight, but also a way to think. Water, fluid, formless, adaptable. Bruce Lee absorbed the philosophy. Be like water, my friend. Recognition and struggle. Even with his skill, acceptance was scarce. Chinese students complained. American students doubted. He was in between. Yet, Bruce Lee pushed forward. Each student he trained, each lesson he gave, was a step toward mastery. Not just of fighting, but of life itself. First glimpse of greatness. Though invisible, Bruce Lee's power could not stay hidden. Small victories in local fights. Slow respect among peers. Hints of speed, agility, and intelligence that made even seasoned fighters pause. He was no longer just a street fighter. He was becoming something else. A thinker, a philosopher, a martial artist. Closing of part 2, Bruce Lee realized strength without control was meaningless. Speed without intelligence was wasteful, and tradition without innovation was slavery. In America, Bruce Lee discovered the true fight was within, and he was ready, not just to fight, but to transform the world. Racism, rejection, and Hollywood's closed doors. Bruce Lee had trained his body. He had disciplined his mind. He had mastered speed, technique, and control. But now, he faced a new enemy, one that no punch could defeat. Racism, prejudice, Hollywood's closed doors, America's invisible walls, Despite his skills, Bruce Lee was invisible. Too Asian to be the hero, too bold to be ignored, too different to belong. Executives dismissed him. You're too short, too foreign. You don't fit our image. Even when his talent shone brighter than anyone else, they tried to dim his light. The Green Hornet. An opportunity came. The Green Hornet, a TV show. Bruce Lee would play Kato. The role was small, supporting, but Bruce Lee's presence stole the screen. Audiences noticed. He was electric, unstoppable, unforgettable. Yet Hollywood remained cautious. They feared an Asian actor could overshadow the hero. Even in victory, he was constrained. Cultural battles. It wasn't just Hollywood. It was everywhere. Chinese communities criticized him. You betray tradition. American society ignored him. You are not one of us. Bruce Lee stood in the middle of both worlds. Alone, misunderstood, determined. Jeet Kune Do is born. It was during these struggles that Bruce Lee's philosophy began to take shape. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is uniquely your own. No rigid forms, no blind adherence, just truth in motion. Jeet Kune Do was not only a fighting style, it was a rebellion against limitation, a weapon against injustice, frustration, and setbacks. Bruce Lee wrote scripts, he pitched ideas, he had vision, he had talent. Yet time and again, the answer was silence. We'll call you. The phone never rang. Doors were closed, opportunities denied, dreams stalled. The decision to return. One night, Bruce Lee looked in the mirror, tired, frustrated, but not broken. If they won't open the doors, I will build my own. He chose to leave Hollywood, not in defeat, but in preparation. Hong Kong awaited him, and the world was about to witness a legend in the making. Closing of Part 3, Bruce Lee was no longer just a fighter. He was becoming a symbol of resistance, creativity, power without compromise. The stage was set. The dragon was ready to rise, becoming a legend. Hong Kong welcomed him back, not as a boy, but as a force of talent, of skill, of unrelenting determination. The streets that once challenged him now bore witness to his return, but fame was still a distant horizon until the big boss premiered. Audiences had never seen anything like it. Speed, precision, ferocity, control. Bruce Lee did not just act. He lived every punch, every kick, every movement. People were stunned. Some cheered, some feared. All watched. Fist of Fury. Next came Fist of Fury. The film was not just entertainment. It was a statement. One line echoed across Asia. We are not sick men. Bruce Lee became more than an actor. He became a voice for pride, for respect, for those who had been ignored. Jeet Kune Do on screen, Bruce Lee was no longer just performing. He was demonstrating his philosophy, fluid, adaptive, unpredictable. No forms, no limitations, just the truth of motion. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. This was no longer martial arts, it was Bruce Lee, Way of the Dragon. Way of the Dragon. For the first time, Bruce wrote, directed, and starred. He was in total control. The legendary fight scene in the Roman Colosseum against Chuck Norris, it was more than choreography. It was philosophy in motion, speed, power, strategy. Every punch, every block told a story. Bruce Lee was no longer just a man. He was a legend. Global recognition? Hollywood could no longer ignore him. Doors that had once been closed began to creak open. The world began to take notice. Bruce Lee had transcended nationality. He had transcended stereotype. He was universal. The dragon had risen. The price of greatness. But greatness has its cost. Bruce Lee pushed his body relentlessly. Sleep was scarce. Training was intense. Rest was minimal. He was racing against time and the limits of the human body. End of part 4. Bruce Lee had become a hero, a symbol, an inspiration. But the true test was yet to come. The world was ready to know his name, but fate had a story of its own. And Bruce Lee was ready to leave his mark on history. Death, mystery, and immortal legacy. The world had finally seen him. Bruce Lee, the unstoppable force, the martial arts genius, the philosopher, the legend. Yet life has its own rules, even for dragons. July 20th, 1973, Hong Kong, a day that would change everything. Silence descends. Bruce Lee was 32, at the peak of his career, the world at his feet, and yet he collapsed. No warning, no fanfare, no fight, only silence. Shock across the world. News spread like wildfire. Fans could not believe it. Critics could not explain it. Impossible. The man who could not be defeated. A storm of grief and confusion swept the globe. Questions and rumors circulated. Poison, conspiracy, accident. The truth was simpler. Bruce Lee's body had reached its limits. The fragile human body, he had pushed himself endlessly. Training beyond exhaustion, challenging every boundary. Defying sleep, defying nature itself. Pain, fatigue, stress, the body eventually speaks. Even for the most disciplined, even for the dragon. Immortal legacy, yet Bruce Lee did not truly die. His philosophy survived. His teachings endured. Jeet Kune Do lives on. Every fighter, every thinker, every soul who refuses limits, carries his legacy forward. Be water, my friend. Adapt, flow, transform, become limitless. Cultural impact. Bruce Lee became more than a man. He became a symbol of possibility, of courage, of self-expression. His films, Enter the Dragon, Way of the Dragon, Fist of Fury, were more than entertainment. They were a revolution. He proved that heritage is not a barrier, that boundaries are meant to be broken, that strength begins in the mind. Lessons beyond fighting. Bruce Lee taught the worldie, strength without control is meaningless. Speed without intelligence is wasted. Tradition without understanding is slavery. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. Not just martial arts, not just philosophy, a guide to living, a way to exist beyond limitations. The dragon lives on. Bruce Lee's body may have fallen, but his spirit, his vision, his philosophy remains